What's up guys, this is Sean and welcome to another episode of the IHERNG podcast, and today we will answer some questions. This is from email. Hi IHERNG, you can call me Phil. Recently just started thinking it's time to get a property and doing some research, which leads me to your YouTube channel, which I am listening during my commute to work. 29 this year, staying with parents, and recently just switched job with a salary around 6,500. Single, 单身狗. Having around 150,000 in savings, split half between FD and stocks. Car and PTPTN paid off, wow, and no other monthly commitment. I can save around 2,500 to 3,000 each month. Looking to get a condo at either Penang or Batu Kawan for around 300 to 400,000 and to rent out to offset the monthly investments. And maybe later move in for own stay in the future when I start a family. The question is, number one, in your opinion, which area is better, Penang or Batu Kawan, based on plan? Because currently staying at PM, Bukit Mertajam, and commute to Penang for work. Number two, is it wise to buy a property after changing job due to current COVID period? Number three, do you think it is better to get a longer loan of 25 to 35 years and get a better or more expensive 5 to 600,000 home, or is it better to get a shorter loan period to get a 300 to 400,000 loan, as the interest we'll be paying for a longer loan period is almost double the property price? Looking forward to hearing from your view on this, and keep up the good work. Really appreciate the experience and information you shared in your videos. Best regards, Phil. Thank you very much, Phil, for the email. And just to sum up the question again, right? So Phil is staying with the parents currently. Salary not bad, 6,500, 150,000 in savings, free of commitment, and can save up to 3,000 each month, which is very good, right? So now he's looking for a unit, right? Initially for investment, but after that for own stay, around 3 to 400,000. And I think we will address question by question, right? So number one, Penang or Batu Kawan, based on my plans. To me, this is a very different, or this is a rather tricky question, because it depends on your intent. Like if for stay my entire family and friends are in the island, then it would make more sense for me to actually stay in the island lah. But if I want to go for somewhat investment point of view or potential point of view, because Batu Kawan now it's a new master plan altogether, you have all the Tsuji lah, the medical park lah, IKEA is there lah, all the new factories are also there as well, so it brings a lot of population in the future, and you can see a lot of development picking up as well near the new universities and stuff like that. Well, whether will it be the next big thing, no one can really tell for sure, right? But based on science and research, in Penang there's only one new township development, and that is Batu Kawan. So it has a greater chance or greater probability compared to what we have in KL. KL easily you can name 10 to 15 different master plan projects. And even in investment, right, there's a few ways. One is you invest based on cash flow, where you are calculating the returns every month, right? Hoping that a renter can cover the installments, right? Number two is where you think that you can have a capital appreciation. And let's just look at stats, right? I'm making assumption here because you said that you want to rent out first. After that, then you might want to move in yourself. And you are staying in Bukit Mertajam, so you are pretty familiar with Batu Kawan, and the prices there, I think the entry level is way lower. The weirdest thing about the property market in Penang is the prices are too high, and the investment components of the property market is not as great. What do I mean is this, like the ROI, if you were to calculate, right, in KL you can get 4%, 5% ROI, right, on a normal property that you can really find around 4 to 500,000, you can get that. And in comparison to the current FD rate, right, that is a very good rate. But then in Penang, it's around 2%, 2.8, 3%. You got a 4% is a very, very good deal already. And the main reason for that is because a lot of people buy high-rise in Penang for own stay purposes. There's not as many job opportunities in compared to KL. And my theory for that is everyone, or I would say Malaysians, like that graduate in Malaysia, right, where would they think of if they were to apply for a job? Everybody wants to come to KL, right? That's why KL, then you have PJ, then you have Damansara, the whole clan really, right, becomes that hotspot for people or young graduates to flock in, and that produces the demand for housing or spaces, and therefore the rental rates are very healthy, especially around the city areas. So again, for you, Phil, my take is this, right? I would suggest a third option, nor Penang Island nor Batu Kawan, but to invest in KL instead, right? And because you need 3 to 4 years, by the time you buy the property here in KL, 3 to 4 years time, you rent out. Then the rental collected for this investment unit, right, can be declared as part of your income to then buy your home later in the future. And who knows where you'll be working again, right? Maybe your family want to move out there, maybe you don't want to stay so close to your family there, maybe your lover is actually in Johor, you don't know one, right? So that's the uncertainty when it comes to own stay. And in the meantime, while figuring out all these uncertainties, right, let your investment work for you first. And that's my suggestion for question number 1, to get a unit in KL for investment first, because your disposable income very high. Question number 2, is it wise to buy a property after changing job due to current COVID period? Well, it's again a very subjective question, but let's talk about the reality of it. If you keep changing job, right, the problem is the banks will not recognize your company or your pay currently, right? During the MCO, when I buy my Bukit Jalil unit, my income was slashed half because the makeover guys, right, it's considered a renovation company and it's considered high risk. Therefore, my salary was calculated as half. Whatever I was earning, right, divided into 2. So no matter what property also I cannot afford. And if you were to apply a bank loan today, you will need at least 3 to 6 months in your salary, and they will need a confirmation letter now. They will check whether is your company a Syndrome Berhad or a big corporation, and it depends again, right? Because now, at this current period, volatility is real, and banks are very worried when it comes to risk. So changing job or not, banks are not going to recognize your income. So that's going to be a hurdle in your loan application. And because you keep changing job, right, it's also reflecting in your lifestyle, right? Therefore, I will go back to question number 1, right? My suggestion is to invest somewhere else first while figuring out your future or career. Because now 3 years to work in a particular company, like very long, right? And who knows, maybe you will be shifted to HQ in KL in the future. Question 3, do you think it's better to get a loan of 25 to 35 years and get a more expensive unit, or you want a shorter loan period, 10 to 15 years, to get a 3 to 400,000 unit, right? Because of the interest. Okay, this is a huge debate. Do you want to drag the loan tenure longer? Because a lot of people's concern is, hey, bank is making all the money. If you drag to a 35 years loan, right, it's more than double of the house. A 500,000 property in 35 years time, you paid up $1 million. It's very silly of you, Sean. Like, I get this a lot as well. The difference in thought is this. It depends whether are you buying a home or are you investing in a property. So the game that we usually play right now is, let's say a house 500,000, let's say the interest rate now is 3%. Okay, 3% is around 1,500 a month. Okay, so 1,500 a month. A 500,000 property, I think easily you can get 1,600 to 1,700 in terms of rental if you get a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom one in KL. So in this situation, if it's 30 years or 35 years, it's 1,500 to 1,300 a month, and the rental is 1,700. Or you're ready to pay up 3,000 to shorten the loan period into maybe 12 years or 15 years. Well, it's entirely up to you. In my investment strategy, I would prefer to drag as long as possible, right? Because if this property is 500,000, right? Let's say 500,000 property today, it gives me 1,700 in rental. My monthly installment is only 1,300. Every month I'm making 400 out of it. Why must I care whether the banks are making money or not? Right? Because based on the rental statements that I will be providing to the bank later, they'll calculate it as partial of my income for my next purchase. Then if I were to take up half the duration, which is like 15 years, I pay, let's say double in this situation, I pay up 3,000, my rental is 1,700. Every month, I'm negative 1,300. That's how the bank sees it. So if I were to pay up negative 1,300 for every month, the bank is not going to loan me more money to buy my next investment. What's the logic in that? Unless this 500,000, it's for your own stay. It's for your own stay, then different. So like, let's say you buy this house to host your family and it's 500,000. So you want to faster complete the payment in like 15 years, or you want to drag it to 30 to 35 years again. So it's a very different school of thought. My rationale, my best suggestion would be this. If you are considering the property price is the same, like in this example, let's say it's 500,000, right? It depends if you're a salary earner or your commission earner. If your salary is fixed every month, right, you can always predict like by 28 your salary will come in, but it's a fixed amount. you won't earn extra or you will earn less because maybe you're late, you're gonna deduct money or whatsoever, right? Not much lah. Then job security will be on your side, and maybe that will be the confidence for you to pay up more. But to me, I will not do that again because I will drag up as long as possible, because now for loan facilities, right, there's like flexi, semi, flexi, where it allows you to pump in money and park there first. And the loan interest for housing loans, right, are calculated daily. For those who don't understand, right? Because the difference between car loan and housing loan, you can YouTube about it. You can search that because one is already calculated and laid out all the way. So it's not as bright to settle car loan upfront, but it's okay to settle the housing loan upfront. So it means, let's say, if my difference, if I owe the bank 500,000 today for the whole year, right, I'll be paying every month. So the interest will be calculated on that daily basis. And if I got money, let's say in this month I got bonus, Chinese New Year maybe got bonus, I put in money, then it will be reduced. And now certain banks even give you the option whether you want to reduce the principal directly, or do you want to just park into the account where it offsets the amount you owe the bank. Again, okay, let's say I have 100,000, I kena toto lah, okay? I kena toto 500,000, I put 100,000 in to just park in the account, because maybe I'm trying to start a business, maybe cash flow might be tight, especially in this current moment. I will need it every now and then. After parking this amount in, every month the money installment will be divided into principal amount and interest amount. Okay, the principal amount will be the same, but the interest you owe the bank will be different. That means you can save interest. So if I were to use this 100,000, let's say I'm a income earner, I want to settle the house, okay, I don't like all this debt, or your school of thought a bit different. 100,000, I should always tell the bank, hey, I'm writing in, I want to settle the principal amount. So 500,000 becomes 400,000. So the loan, principal and interest every month will be calculated based on 400,000 today. Then another thing to take note is it's easy to, let's say 35 years, so I can settle upfront faster. It's entirely up to you whether you got money or not lah, right? So you can shorten it if you want to, but it's very, very difficult to lengthen it again. So because that, you can call it restructuring or you can call it refinancing. Some banks sees this process as a negative process where you cannot settle upfront, now you need to drag the loan again. Well, I see in a very different manner because that actually happened to me. So all that provided the housing price is the same. So now do you want to pay monthly payment more for a cheaper house, or you want to pay less but longer for a more expensive house? I think that is entirely up to you, because again, I personally think you are doing a great job already. Like 6,500, you can save up 3,000 and you still have savings of 150,000, right? You are in the winning position already. Banks will love you. So I think now it's a good time to actually start looking into investment. And if you were to invest, right, the key is to positive cash flow investments. It means, let's say if you buy an investment that is 500,000 now, it's best that the rental can cover the installment. And currently it's the best time because the interest rate is so low. It's so low, so suddenly, right? Like for my example, my Puchong unit, I used to pay like a monthly installment of 1,000, then it went up a little bit, 1,000, 2,000, 3. My rental every month has been 1,003. Okay, so what happened when the interest rates were reduced? Right now it's 1.75, then you add up, so it's around 3%. Suddenly my loan, I'm paying 900 ringgit a month. 900, so 1,003, right, suddenly becomes 900. And my rental not affected, right? 1,003, suddenly it was break even, now it becomes positive. And because of this positive, right, it becomes a plus point every time if I were to apply another loan. Get it? And suddenly I made money. And now if I were to tell people, hey, 1,003, if this is a positive cash flow property you want to buy or not, very easy to let go. But why in the world I want to let go lah? Okay, but in this perspective, now it's making 400 ringgit for me every month. Why would I want to settle the loan earlier? I can by banking in this 400 ringgit into the account, which means like 1,003, I entirely still bank in 1,003 to the bank. And that is also somewhat reducing the interest or tenure of the loan. So there are many ways to do it. Well, this is a matter of perspective of future value of money versus present value of money. Like now you are paying again for that 500,000. I don't know why 500,000, but it's easy for calculation. I'm paying 1,500, right, for a 500,000 property. Okay, and as time goes by, the 1,005 amount is reducing 3%, you know, now it's 3%. And you come to think of it, right? Bank loan you 35 years later, 3%, let's say they earn, but that at that moment of time, the property price is no longer 500,000, definitely. The value of money is confirmed smaller than what we have today. Although, let's say if I were to pay 1,005 still, do you think the 1,005 at 30 years later is going to be the same value of 1,005 today? Right? So the key is to invest your extra money into stocks or crypto or whatsoever that you know, instead of clearing the housing loan. Well, that is only valid if you know what to do with the money lah. Because let's say you go there and you get burned, also no point. Might as well just clear off the loan, no? Okay? So I think this question is around here and there, but overall, my suggestion again, because of your age, because of your uncertainty, you keep changing jobs, and you have a very good foundation already, I would suggest you to buy your first investment unit in KL. So the idea is to get one property here around 400,000 to 500,000 around your budget, right? And to get it rented out so you can have a rental, and it's almost definite the ROI will be better than whatever property you buy in Penang. And in accordance to statistics, right, this is proven because in the makeover guys, we constantly do all this study before thinking whether to venture into Penang or not. Okay, so with this data, with this property, then 4 to 5 years later, you want to buy another own stay unit. Maybe you change job already, or maybe you stay in the same job but you got promoted. Then there's just so many uncertainties around your life, and how would you want to buy a house in accordance to something that is uncertain? That's my point. And with that, thank you very much, and I hope that helps. For those who still have any questions regarding real estate, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me on Instagram, IHERNG, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.